Welcome back to episode 2 of Matthew's mini Bible studies. Today we're going to be in Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes 18 through 20. Behold, what I have seen to be good and fitting is to eat and drink and find enjoyment in all the toil with which one toils under the sun. The few days of his life that God has given him, for this is his lot. Everyone also to whom God has given wealth and possessions and power to enjoy them, and to accept his lot and rejoice in his toil. This is the gift of God. For he will not much remember the days of his life, because God keeps him occupied with joy in his heart. Let me just repeat the last part of verse 18 one more time. Find enjoyment in all the toil with which one toils under the sun. A lot of people believe that work is just work and not a good thing, not something that you should enjoy. I think a lot of people have a mindset of live for the weekend, so the work week is just like they turn their brains off, they go into autopilot, and then all of a sudden the weekend comes, and then it's like, yeah, it's finally time to have fun. I can finally be myself, be alive and everything. And what I love about this passage in Ecclesiastes is that that's not what it's preaching. It's preaching finding joy in your toil, in your work, in the difficulties, in the labor of life. And in the last part of verse 18, it says, the few days of his life that God has given him, for this is his lot. When you think about it, if you're not enjoying the time that you're toiling, well, how much days of life do you have? Like, you are entirely enabled and encouraged to live your life no matter what you're doing, whether you're working or having fun with your friends and family, to live your life enjoying it, whatever it is. You don't have to not be yourself when you're working, when you're doing the hard things, when you're going to school or when you're doing your job. You have full freedom to be yourself and be grateful for that work, for that job, for the people that you are collaborating with and working with. I think that a lot of people look at being blessed with riches and wealth and opportunities is like a bad thing. It's something that you should be guilty about. But verse 19 says that everyone also to whom God has given wealth and possessions and power to enjoy them, and to accept his lot and rejoice in his toil. This is the gift of God. Honestly, I think being guilty about what you have is actually being ungrateful for what you have. I think that there's a way to be grateful for the amazing things that you've been blessed with and you've been given. Like, we're not entitled to anything in this life. Like, for me right now, I'm not entitled to be making videos. I have been put in a position where I have the equipment and the skills, the ability, the language to do so. And I'm just being grateful that I can, and so I'm doing it. And I think a lot of situations in life we should see like that. If you grew up with rich parents, like, cool, don't feel guilty about it, be grateful for it, and make the most of it. Like, it's ultimately what I feel like this passage is teaching is, regardless of what you have, make the most of it and be grateful for it. And if you are put in a position where you can share what you have with other people, well, be grateful for what you've been given and do so. He will not much remember the days of his life, because God keeps him occupied with joy in his heart. Now that's an interesting verse, because he will not much remember the days of his life, because God keeps him occupied with joy in his heart. So if you continue to have appreciation for every day of your life, you won't really be living in the past. I don't know, maybe I have a wrong interpretation. You guys let me know in the comments. I don't want to overstep my teaching or thoughts here. If you are constantly grateful for whatever is placed in front of you in your life, you will not be living in the past. So therefore, it'll be less relevant to remember and dwell on the days in the past. Rather, you will be living in the present. I think that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, guys. All right, so just to recap, guys, find enjoyment in what you do. Be grateful for what you have, and what you have can include what you do. It can include the actual material things that you have, the people in your life. Stop focusing on what you don't have and start recognizing the things that you do have that you're actually not entitled to. And remember to live all the days of your life in the present. Be grateful for everything that you have in the present, and be joyful for that. There's so much to be appreciative of in the current moment. And when you really just are grateful for that, I think there is a lot of incentive to just live in the now and not be living in the past. So, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me on Matt's mini Bible study, episode number 2 in Ecclesiastes. Again, I'm not claiming to be a crazy biblical scholar or anything. I like to keep these videos very short, sweet, and simple, just so that we can focus on the big picture of the text together, not get caught up in all of the super insane details, because I think there's a big picture painted in a lot of the text here that sometimes is overlooked. So I like keeping these nice and simple, short and sweet, easy to digest, and easier to actually apply to your life when it's not 10 gazillion different lessons thrown at you at one time. So thank you for joining me today, guys, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.